Sorry about that. All right. So our our uh, our new brand called Make It Wear It. We're just now in the early stages of that. Set that up on Shopify, and we are in the process of, well, not in the process. We are waiting on our sublimation printer to get here because that new brand is going to be mostly sublimation for now. We are, and I wrote you in the chat. One of our biggest dilemmas right now, and it's one that we've been going back and forth with for a long time, is what method do we go next? We're like at that point where, we're too big to do vinyl, and we found that out earlier this week. We had 100 short order, which you don't normally do those things. We normally just do retail, but we had 100 short order, and we were trying to do that before we drove to Virginia, and we were all in the middle of it. We had our 17-year-old and our 12-year-old helping us. Storm came through, lights go out, and we're sitting in the dark. The cutter was going and everything, and we're just sitting there like, okay, now what do we do? We got to leave in the morning. Like, what do we do? So, luckily, the lights came back on, and she actually stayed up till 3 in the morning to get it done. I passed out at 2 o'clock, but she stayed up till 3 to actually to get it done. Um, but yeah, so I mean that's kind of like where we're at as far as like monetary goals. We really want to increase our PPC. We have hit about $80,000 so far this year with all of our platforms, and we want to finish the year pretty strong. We're hoping to have at least to hit like the 400,000 mark before the end of the year, because we know that the holidays are going to be a big part of that for what we sell. So, I mean, anything you want to add to that?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's unpack a little bit of that. So let's step back. You have Almost Twins, and you have Make It Wear It.
Hmm.
Why have you jumped into Make It Wear It so, with Almost Twins revenuing how much of the total? So tell me what is Almost Twins revenuing? What is Make It Wear It revenuing right now?
Make It Where It, literally, we just bought the domain on Monday. So
Okay,
it's
so how
it's
much does Almost Twins
zero,
make?
80.
8. Okay. Why the new initiative before Almost Twins is doing 16, 20, 25? Do you feel like that niche is capped out, maxed out, and your energies are best spent diversifying as opposed to going tall?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a secondary niche.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
That's
my
the
that would be
easiest
my interest
the
is
easiest answer. Yeah, I mean, I just need a secondary niche. Um, with the paid advertisement, there is kind of like a limit that you can go scaling wise. So I
so
just need a secondary niche to, you know, it's to
interesting.
test it to see
Right. Yeah, and
what comes out
we
of that.
have a unique opportunity that's coming down the pipe as well with one of my software clients that turned to a kind of a joint partnership, in that we are going to. Well,
Sorry.
sorry, we don't
So
control the phones here, and this is my dad's house. Ah.
I think I got 4
He's
spam
not
calls
home.
during our last meeting alone, so I
Hold on.
empathize.
Let's see
He's
who's.
not home.
Yeah, he's not home, so if I hang up on them, sorry,
Your vehicle warranty is.
I hung up on them. So
Oh,
hopefully they don't go
Alan.
back. Yeah.
Alan, welcome to the party, sir. Glad to have you.
All right. So, what was I saying?
I forgot.
So
Oh,
we were talking about you've got a unique situation
yeah.
with the
So
with
yeah,
the
the
partnership.
situation with our my software client, in that they are they're going to be pretty big in the wedding industry.
Okay.
So we'll have a unique marketing opportunity to be in front of a lot of brides and people in the wedding and event industry with our stuff. So,
Tons of sublimated kit there, right?
right,
All of the brides want a million different types of sublimated things,
Yeah.
right, right,
memories.
exactly. So we're gonna have a very unique. I mean, right now they're based in Colorado,
Okay.
and they are basically right now, just without even growing, they can get us in front of like well over 500 weddings a year.
Very
So
cool.
I mean, if only 10% of them do business with us, that's great. But they do plan to grow nationwide. They got some pretty big scores. So we're just going to ride the coattails with them. So with that, it kind of goes into what we're trying to do with Make It Wear It, which is just personalization um, items. So that's also why this shift. So we want to learn how to do that with also our other niche, which we're going to do for the PPC. Yeah.
Okay. I think as the weeks unfold, I'm going to be very curious to see how, if there's an opportunity to kind of focus in on 3 or 4 of these niches that you're interested in, to make it easier on you to scale some of them up to 10, 20,000 each. So for instance, if Almost Twins is capped out in the pay-per-click market, if the market size is, limiting you to $8,000, then it's going to be great to find Make It Wear It, whether or not the 500 weddings or so a year, if that can be 20 or 30,000. And then if so, if your time is split and you don't want to hire in somebody to start running the Almost Twin sides of things, then just essentially focusing on where you're going to have the least friction. I've said that a lot lately. If you only have so much bandwidth, then you want to focus on the path of least friction so that you can get the most profit for the amount of hours in the day, because you have a lot of businesses that you're working on. You've got the software side of things, and that's taking up a lot of your headspace. You've got your own therapy side that you're working, right? And so you've got your own businesses. And then together you're pooling your resources to come up with what sounds like a growing number of business ideas and niches that you're jumping into. That I know from experience that it can be very overwhelming to try to keep my head in the game for so many different areas. Y'all are clearly better at it than most people, being fractional.
I don't know about all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I mean, focusing that in, I think, can be powerful. So that's something we don't have to hit on it now, because I don't know enough to start like throwing around ideas. But I want to listen more and hear more of what we're talking about, to see if there's an opportunity there to really dive in and clarify on 1 or 2.
Yeah.
The path of growth, sublimation. I think the fact that you got a sublimation printer, the Sawgrass, that's fine. It's got a limited speed, but I think what it can open up for you is very powerful. You don't really need to worry about anything else yet in terms of growing that side. I think that's going to be pretty good, at least for the next couple of months, getting your feet wet in that industry. In terms of printing, my question is a DTG going to be worth your time for what you're trying to do? Is that the path of progression, getting a Brother GTX Pro bulk and hammering that out on a regular basis? Or is taking your 5.6, 550 and putting in an 800, which is actually the professional solution, going to be a better use of your time? I don't know. I really don't know, because I know
that is the $50 million question. We keep going back and forth. And then I saw Ruben's video on DTF, and I'm like, all right, well, now there's even a bigger twist. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of avenues to go. Like, for instance, yesterday we did, not me, one of our new employee did 40 shirts front and back. It was all white on a 50-50 blend. He darkened up one of our T-seal sheets to the point my wife thought it was going to sublimate it to her stuff, but it hasn't. But he knocked him out. 80 imprints on the printer, and it took him like 3.5 hours. So I was like, okay, typically I'd have to run that on screen printing, but the fact that we were able to take care of code enforcement, make them happy, turn $500. That was kind of an interesting example of, we can switch back and forth between retail and custom on one solution and be pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
And of course, ink sheeting was our friend there. Just text and badges, and we were able to multiply the number of imprints. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that probably after the fact. But I'm wondering, over the next week, what are you guys going to be focusing on? Of course, you're driving around now, but what are you going to work on between now and next Thursday?
Right. I think you're going to work on Make It Wear It, right?
Yeah. Getting the website is up, but it needs to be optimized, and email not campaign, the autoresponders. Set up Klaviyo, obviously, and do all that back end optimization.
So do you think between now and next Thursday you'll have that site functional and ready to take orders?
Yes.
And that is all sublimation. That's going to be scaling up an entirely new product. That's exciting. Okay. Now, will you be taking warm leads from your software contact, or are you also going to be scaling pay-per-click too?
No, I go with pay-per-click.
Pay-per-click, very interesting. I'm excited to see what that starts turning out.
Me too.
Yeah. So the software deal, so we are, that really won't kick into high gear until November. So what'll happen is for all the venues that they have in Colorado, they're going to give the bride or the wedding party a mobile app to where they can manage their entire thing instead of a website, which they do now. So when people RSVP, or when the bride signs up, it's going to be like, do you want to order something for your bridesmaids? Do you want to order something from the groom? And then it's going to literally just be our products. We're going to be exclusive for everything. Yeah, for like wedding gifts and like everything will be 100% exclusive for all of those venues.
So it seems like it's almost a competitor to some of the Amazon wish lists and different things like that. What
Yeah.
makes your product unique? The fact that
Um,
it's all integrated with the wedding planner?
right. Well, it does more than just wish lists, right? So
Okay.
so if you're gonna RSVP, you need to know like what meal do you want? Do you want the fish? Do you want the chicken? All that, and that goes directly to the caterer, and then also to the venue that hey, this person wants this, and then it's gonna link to a seating chart so they know exactly where that person's gonna sit. It'll tell them like all the transportation companies that are going to be involved, so they know where they need to go. The DJ will have song requests. I mean, there's a lot to it. So all of the it's like one spot for all of the vendors, the venue, and the bride together, and the guests. So all four people
So this is
have
the
like
wedding
one
planner, then essentially.
Yes, it is. It's a competitor to like Aisle Planner if you've ever heard of that, or some of the other like event planning software that's out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know for our wedding it was all like sheets on a paper and trying to figure out what was going where. So that's interesting in just
yeah.
a few short years. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, good to
that
know.
was a
I'm
2 year
excited to
build.
see
So
that.
it's been 2 years. Yeah, for
You
Mm.
that
guys been
software
working on it for
product.
2 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a
Wow,
while. Yeah, so this is
that's
the last
impressive.
iteration where we add the guest feature, and that's gonna and that's why I did the project honestly is so that we could eventually get to the point where we can have that exclusive on selling the merch for all of it. Yeah,
Talk about the ultimate like slow play for a funnel, huh?
yeah,
That's pretty.
yeah, yeah, and we get 50% of the whole deal. So which is
Oh
even cooler.
wow,
Yeah,
that's exciting. That's incredible too.
yeah.
All right. So by next week, then you'll have that up and rolling. I don't think we're going to have too many signs of early revenue. That seems like something where you establish client relationships, you're educating them on the platform, and then as that progresses, it's a guaranteed stream from that person in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, whatever it is. Is that kind of accurate, or do you
Yeah,
think you're going to get like
from just that one channel, yeah, that's gonna take a while.
yeah?
My wife has done a lot with PPC, so I'm not sure how long that'll take. But
I'm not sure either these days. It's a little bit foggy in the Facebook, but
We don't
I
have a whole lot of time on that. Can you give me like a Reader's Digest? What went sideways with Facebook pay-per-click ads?
well, the CPM is high, and it's just retargeted is not on point.
yeah, because you don't get the
Numbers are
tracking
not on
data.
point. Like I cannot see the purchases on my ad manager that I can see